Come on. Sometime today, people. Got a lot of car to work on and very little time to do so. Okay. Welcome to Car Mechanics. I've already started working on it. I've already pulled her from the junkyard, stripped her guts. Finishing up the final tear down. Excuse me. It is appointment the Roadrunner. One of Chrysler's many product lines of muscle cars. The block didn't make it. Knock it off, controller. Controller! The whole front nose clip is all brand new. The way the car should be. Everything else has been restored. Didn't get fixed. Wow, okay, you know what? I already know that bushings don't make it. Spark plugs don't ever really get fixed. So I still need an engine block, and I need B of that. I'm gonna need clips. I'm gonna need to be honest, I'm better off buying all this stuff brand friggin' new. I mean, One. That's dumb. This shit's better off being bought brand new. I mean, all due respect and honesty, not much survived. No wonder why the car was in the junkyard. But with that being said, get a tablet out. I don't play games when it comes to this shit. I don't remember which cross member it is. We got through too many of these. I know those made it. I know that didn't make it. Okay. The reason you're not seeing me buy tires, guys, is I already bought them. I bought non-stock rims with the original style tire. Why? Because they have aftermarket rims now. I get the rim pack so that I don't have to put the stock rims back on the car. I can slightly modify the car to make the car look better, especially when I go through a new paint job on. And this is sandbox mode, if you guys are wondering. Obviously, while we're under the car, we'll buy the fuel tank, fuel pump. nothing to work with. Okay, I'll leave that alone. We'll jump over to this side. While we're at the back of the car too, we'll back out. Nothing to work with. Okay, we're back here. We're gonna go ahead and go back in here, and we're gonna go here. We need 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Now there's nothing stopping me from putting these are the rims I got for the car. We'll jump to this side. Guys, give me your honest opinion what the car, you know, obviously before I put the rest of the car together, I would put I know the tires look beefy, but that's what they called for. All the way around the car. I mean, it looks like racing slicks to me. I don't really care for it. I would have put, if it was up to me, I would have put the smaller rubber on, but it's more like a almost drag style type car. Really big, really tall. I'm not dealing with the engine on the car until I get the gas tank put in. I'll probably get most of the exhaust put on the car. I know some of you are going to say, why are you doing exhaust and have it free float with it attached to nothing? But you got to look at the bigger picture. And right now the bigger picture is saying, who cares? The car is built. At least I'll be able to put it on the ground. I'll be able to roll the car around. And the main focus of the build is to just, for now, get the car to be able to roll around the shop. Even if we have to push it. We'll put the sway bar end link on. I always forget one of the bushings. Always. So, in real life, don't ever bring me a car to fix your car. Because you'll probably get it back in worse condition than you got it back. You know, then you brought it to me, and you might wind up with a box of a bunch of spare parts. Then you ask me what all spare parts are, I'd be like, I don't know, extras. When really it's probably 9% of the car that needs to be done. I mean, right now I'm just buttoning up what really should be last minute. Normally you wouldn't put your suspension together and you wouldn't go through your tires together without putting your fuel tank in. I do it because I don't like looking at multicolored cars. So I intentionally go do everything else I can right off. So that this way here, I can, if I want, move it, get it painted, get it back on the lift, and get the rest of the car done. Like right now, I need don't ask why I just did that. It's the things I know I need for the car right up. Some parts will say Plymouth on it, some parts will not. So you can't jump the gun and go buying everything in advance for these cars. Because this is the type of car that'll be like, guess what? Since you just bought it, guess what? That's the wrong part. I can't put a performance exhaust system on the car by going to the performance shop and like doing so, because it's going to be, I mean, they sell the rear end exhaust for this car, they sell in the performance shop. Like for instance, okay, like for instance, let's see, let's get around mid mufflers. Let's go to the rear muffler. I can have the exhaust free float right now. I can make this a bad A car. Now they don't sell these, they don't sell in the performance, and I'll show you. I'll show you they don't sell those because they're asking for C's. They don't sell them. See what I'm saying? They don't sell them. But to get things like that, you go in here and you say, okay, obviously it's going to need more than just this. Now, I'm not getting these right here, because then the engine's not going to be able to go in. But right now, the car is pretty much ready for engine, driveline. Has all new brakes all the way around it, all new interior all the way around it. I'm going to send this over to the spray booth. Tell me if you want this car to stay in this color, but in like a chrome, because this is one of Plymouth's original factory paint colors from back in the day. I do believe this is the 70 Roadrunner. Don't quote me on that. But we're gonna go send it. I mean, don't cost me anything to really spray these cars. And right now it's saying it's in a metallic. See, that's what it would look like painted in metallic. Then you have the matte colored of it, the pearl, the chameleon. There's the chrome version of it. Don't really care for the chrome version. That actually looks pretty sweet for the Plymouth Roadrunner. This light doesn't show justice more than out in the shop would. There it is. This is one bad A looking car. We don't want to go too far with it because we still got to drop the engine in. I still got to get you know, that there's still plenty of motor parts to buy. I still got to buy the block. I'm still gonna have to figure out which one of these that I got a lot of parts that the car needs. I am not gonna lie. The car is a mess. Was a mess. And is going to remain a mess. Well, by just 8 of these. I don't know which one of those the car's really gonna need. Now that we're in the blocks, we need to find That looks like the motor. Just to be safe. I can get the other version of those. I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna buy the heads for the car yet, because we have no clue what heads the car is gonna call for. We already got that. Already got that. As you can tell, I do have Mercedes parts to put together a Mercedes. I have a Mercedes. I have not fully ripped the Mercedes apart. It is semi-built. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to get really tearing into the sedan. I also have, I do believe, have one more Mercedes after that. That's a total mess. It came out of the junkyard. The sedan also came from the junkyard, but the sedan already has a paint job, etc., etc. No, I'm not going to go ahead and jump and buy every single part for the car. Like, I can't get an oil pan for this car yet. 8 of those ones. 8 of those. I could get performance ones of these and bring up the horsepower more, but I'm not building a drag car. I'm not building I'm not building a performance drag car. That's not what I'm building. I'm building your average Joe Schmo, go down the road, somebody wants to challenge you into a race, you're gonna smoke them and whoop their ass. Badass daddy car. Something that can look at you and basically give you the finger off the line and be like, yeah, well, guess what? Fuck you. Eat this. And you sit there with your mouth hitting the floor like, what the hell did I just race against? And that's what they call a sleeper. Again, I'm not going to get into all this other crap because this other crap it gets too confusing. It's really, 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 really bad when it comes to this. Now, for these, I already know I need the rockers are going to be different. They're more likely going to be Plymouth rockers, and I'm going to need 2 that go inside the You'll see, I'm not going to explain everything to you guys. You guys just sit back and watch and see what I need and what I don't need for this particular build. This particular build is obviously, like, I can show you right off the jump. The car was in junkyard status, if you remember. Basically, this car is ready for engine, driveline, transmission, gearbox, plugs, wires, front and rear plates, I usually put New Hampshire tags on my car, so it's gonna, the car's basically gonna put out the same horsepower that's there now, which is gonna be 343. I don't goof around, I don't play around with anything, I build it and that's it. Now we gotta start with the power plant. This is why I didn't go hog wild crazy and buy a whole bunch of fucking BS, because this gets to be very, very tedious, very time consuming, very nitpicky, very, very Betty. Like, how would you say? Like, I need the crankshaft. I need to buy a crankshaft. I need to buy crankshaft bearings. I need to buy bearing caps. I need... Normally I wouldn't be putting this part together upside down, but I already pretty much have... Okay, I've pretty much had all that for it. This is just the block still. Bare bone block. This is where I said you don't jump ahead when it comes to engines. Because if you buy the wrong stuff, then you get stuck with parts that you don't need. You waste money. Thank God there's a sandbox and you don't ever touch that money. This is where this here comes into play. You basically play guessing games. This is a huge guessing game. Especially when the car comes from a junkyard and you have nothing to previously work with, so you don't know what exactly the car needed. But if you get it from an auction, 9 times out of 10 the car is about an overall rating of 4 out of 5. So a lot of the parts are there and you can kind of sort of salvage a lot of them. Probably about 90% of the parts would get salvaged. Now, salvaged parts for a car like this, chances are very, very, very well to do, very well off that it's not going to be repaired. And with that being said, you got to be cautious of what you buy. I think that's what it asked for. Okay, I need an overhead valve. One for an overhead valve. I bought the wrong. Like a dope. That was my bad. That's just why you don't jump the gun and say, oh, I know what the part is. You're gonna wind up hurting yourself on the process. Let's go ahead and put the crankshaft in the car. Raise this up. Let's go ahead and button down the crankshaft so that when we flip the engine back over after we put the con rods and all this other crap in, we're gonna wind up with a hornet's nest on top. Those are crank bearing caps. That I did. Now these are rod caps. These are your rods, your piston rings. You don't ever want to jump ahead on this particular build. I've done it before and I've really got myself so confused I wound up having to sell the car, empty my inventory because I got overwhelmed and couldn't make ends meet. Now I've tried the regular mode on this. It would take months, and I mean months, of doing stupid repairs and spending stupid money that you don't have and not ever gain money. You'd always be behind. You would not ever get to the point of expanding your garage to three lifts and being able to do half the things that I'm doing. Now I need, obviously, the oil pan. Obviously it's going to be the same color as the block. Very easy to find the oil pan on the car. Here's the oil pans, there's the pan. Bam. Some things you can type in, like, oh, I'm looking for this particular parts for this particular car. Bam. Look it up. Lo and behold, it's there. Now I need a cam. I'm gonna go ahead and type in cam so that we don't have to be hunting for it. I'm not buying these because these get confusing. I do believe it's just going to be that. I don't think there's an actual C for that one, but there is a V8 overhead valve C camshaft, if I recall. I don't think it would be a Plymouth. I really don't think it would actually have a Plymouth sign on it. I could be mistaken, don't quote me on it. I need to double check. And this is another thing I do, so that I get the correct part. Yeah, see, it needs a V8 overhead valve type C. V8 overhead valve type C. Almost bought the wrong one. And there should be a type F. Now I need a type F. Type F. There's a timing chain. Timing cover I should already have. I do not have the timing cover. Okay. I did previously go ahead and buy extra some of the parts that I already know the car is going to call for. I just lucked out on hope and prayer. Nothing to work with. Nothing to work with. And probably nothing to work with. Oh, surprisingly I got this correct. Sometimes I can jump ahead and get the correct crap. Sometimes I can't, like alternator. I obviously thought the thing was going to be your typical. This is why I said don't jump ahead. Get the parts as you build. Like these, I can get these in performance. I need a water pump pulley. That part got saved. Thank God that part got saved. This part did not get fixed, and it is a E. So I gotta go to carburetor. Now, I need E, and there it is. I'm not buying that yet. There's still quite a bit that's definitely needed. I still gotta get I can get performance plugs for it. I can get performance wires for it. I can get a lot of performance crap for this car and build it up a little bit, which will bring the horsepower slightly and make it a little faster. And give it a little bit more horsepower. Nothing to work with. See, I bought the wrong part because I jumped the fucking gun. Because it said Plymouth, I assumed it was a Plymouth right up. We can close this part up at least. No, while it's on here, we can't put the oil until we put it in the car. Yes, people, I remembered this time to put the Earl in before we drop it into the car. I've had a habit of starting the cars without the Earl in them. Tried to take them on a test track to see how they drive, and got yelled at because I did not put the oil in the engine. So the Earl will get put in before we even fire the car. Because technically all this work you're doing, you can burn it up really quickly in a matter of seconds. And then you're gonna start back from scratch. Now we'll go get this here, but we're gonna be a smart ass. We can get performance air filter. We can get the performance bullshit here too. Like we could have put a performance cam. We could have put a performance cam into it. We could have put performance carbs on it. We could have put performance heads on it, and really made it into a true muscle machine, muscle car. You knew it right off the jump type car. I don't like that. I don't believe in it. I don't like it. Why, you may ask? Because it's not worth it. You take it out on the test track, you crash it. So you did all this work for nothing. I'm not about to work on this car that I've had sitting on the lift for a couple of days because I took a break. And really, while I was there, in the performance, I should have done the sparkulators. There's the sparkulators. Let's put the sparkulators in the engine. I don't buy wires anymore until all 8 sparkulators are put in, because I'm sick of buying the wrong ones and then having to sell everything in the warehouse. And we've been going along putting in junk spark plugs. That's just great. Pay attention. I wanted the performance spark plugs in here, and I'm sitting here putting crappy ones in. This is where you can find out what wires you need. You need the ignition wires. You need V8Ds. I don't think I can get performance wires for this car. I don't remember. I can. I need the Ds. V8Ds. Sometimes you can't get them. V8. See, sometimes you can't get them. Sometimes you get stuck. Like I said, sometimes you get stuck at a point of having to put crap on with performance. Not fair at all. At all. Especially if you're going to turn the car into a sleeper. If you're going to turn a car like this into a sleeper, something that looks stock, drives down the road looking stock, and all of a sudden some dude says, hey, I bet you $700 I could go from here to the 7th set of lights and smoke your car when the light turns green. You can sit there and be like, okay, you're on, because you know you just won the money. Because now they're going to cry because you just whooped their ass. Okay. The engine's, I'm gonna say 90 somewhat percent done. I mean, I still got serpentine belts, I still got the fan to put on it. The car's probably about I don't know, belts get tricky. Don't ever get the wrong belt for the car, because this game will complain, bitch, throw a shit fit if you get the wrong goddamn fucking belt. Trust and believe, I've done enough of these cars to know that if you get the wrong belt, the car's like, you don't have this part. And it's like, dude, I just bought the goddamn part. Watch. Surprise, surprise. This is why I did not get Serpentine Belt A. Because it throws you. Going upon looks on this is not always what it seems. You have to read what the part is. This is a Serpentine Belt A V8 overhead valve C. So now we're looking for it's going to be a Serpentine Belt A V8 overhead valve C. Don't ever buy the wrong belts for your car, because then you're not ever going to get this engine put together. Moving on, I already went ahead and when the car said it needed a Type C radiator, I knew that it needed the Type B fan. This car is ready to go drop it in, but we are going to boost it a little bit. Normally I'd strongly go against this. Especially on a stock, pretty much stock factory parts type of motor. But I love watching the dyno when you put the damn thing on the dyno. Because of how crazy freaking you can make these cars. I've had a Trans Am in the shop that I did up at Smokey and the Bandit, and I put performance, exhaust performance, clutch plates and things like that, and let me tell you, this car upped its horsepower to like a 600, 700 horsepower engine car, like it was a nothing. I was like, I would hate to take it out in real life and have somebody tell me the car couldn't do nothing and have to literally barely touch the gas and smoke them for a quarter mile. See, I didn't finish it. See, even I jumped ahead. I could have sworn we put everything in this car. This is going to tell us if we put everything in the motor. Normally I wouldn't let you put the motor together if you didn't put everything in. Okay, everything's there. we now have exhaust gearbox starter. Oh, before we even left it in the air. We're gonna add the Earl. Gotta add that motor Earl. Or the car's gonna yell saying that there's no Earl in it. And it can go kaboof. Now you would think she was a runner right off. She's not. She doesn't have a starter. She doesn't have a transmission. She doesn't have a drive line. She doesn't have the motor exhaust. Nothing to work with. The transmission was garbage. So we're gonna be a smart ass. I've done this before to these cars. These cars are like crazy, but they're fun. There's my transmission. Now we're going to go ahead and install its gearbox. Look at that. We're also going to go ahead and put the starter in since we're right here. We're also going to be an asshole and get these. We're going to try and performance shop for the D's. These are exhaust sections, so I always come here first to see, because if I can get the front exhaust pieces from here, I would much rather put performance front section exhaust into the car than put stock plain Jane which I don't like the fact that you have to come here to do it, because these are so fucking blah, so fucking plain that I can't see how cars can get boosted by doing the rest of the exhaust the way they say. Now I need to double check that. I don't know why this fucking game insists on sending me 80 fucking miles back. I need a section D. There's C. There's C. This actually pisses me off. Now, lesson to be learned is get out from underneath the car first. Now I'm gonna go put the car over there, but I'm gonna show you guys a valuable lesson. This car, or you would think this car is done, right? Wrong. It's not done. It's not done. It's missing stuff. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I'm not gonna show you. I'm just gonna get the missing part, and then I'm gonna show you overall. Gauges work in this car, by the way. Fired right up. There you go. Now, if you got to this point in the game after playing regular mode, where you've done a lot of rebuilds, a lot of engine overhauls, and you built your rep up this high, and you had you were maxed out on your HP, and your money was like this high up, and it was no object, and you just kept going to junkyard, buying cars, buying all the parts you can, restoring it, and turning around and flipping it for a quick buck. This car was bought for pennies on the dollar. Okay, it's valued at $58,640. I only spent a total of to restore this car, really? Not much. Now it says global parts condition. This is where you guys say, what the hell's going on? Why is it under that condition? What am I missing? Bam. Now you heard the car fire up, but we're missing I have it. Okay. 100% across the board. 100%. If it's all in white, it's good. It's all 100%, all the way. Bam, car, bam, 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 bam. I paid less than that in the junkyard. I paid probably 15,000. The rest, the restoration bonus on this car was $11,780. The value of the car was valued at $58,903. Somebody's willing to buy the car from me for $70,683. That right there I'd make bank. I would make bank on just doing what I just did. Now, we don't have a car here, but we have I will show you I don't remember if I finished that car yet. I know I finished this one. I haven't touched this car. I rebuilt that. I rebuilt that. Let's see. That's my Dodge Charger. I'll show you my Smoking the Bandit when it shows when I drive it around and bring it in. Okay. Okay, guys. This is my Trans Am. It's got the bird. It's got the T-tops. It runs and drives. You want to hear a sick and sane thing? If I remember correctly, this car is a car on steroids. Shit, we should have dynoed that Roadrunner. Now, normally the car would kick out 300 horsepower at 4,550 RPMs. 528 N.Ms at 3,205 RPM. Now fire up the car, step on the gas, shift the gears, get it going. It jumped. We boosted it. Boosted it by 200 and something horsepower. 200. We boosted this thing to by 263 horsepower and brought up its RPM at the RPMs. This car cooks. And when I say cooks, it cooks. I'm scared of it. I already drove it on the test track. I'm scared of it. It kicks out really friggin' quick. So I don't drive half the cars that I restore. A lot of cars I got from auction. The pickup I got from auction. The Roadrunner I restored. The Cherokee I restored. The Challenger I think I restored 100%. The Mustang I think I did too. I'm not 100%. There are cars I have that I'm not even sure if I restored them all yet. The Ram, I put some cars in storage for a rainy day. I mean, I'm already an hour and 29:08, and I got a whole nother game to stream. I'm going to be streaming a whole nother game. I'm going to be streaming a couple more games, actually. I do believe the Jeep is done. I do believe the Wrangler is done. And the Wrangler I got at auction. It went to the dyno for some effed up reason. Yeah, this Jeep is done. I never dynoed it, so 285. It is four-wheel drive, so all four wheels are gonna spin on this one. I don't remember if I put performance parts in it. 293, I did put some performance parts in it. So I brought it up. I did bring it up. I boosted it big time. It's got ABS brakes. You know, it's got a new engine, new transmission. I didn't care for the pink that it was when I bought it, so I obviously switched the color. Straight out. Got pissed and rebuilt the body, threw tires on it, threw it in the shop, painted it, put it back, built the engine up. I restored the car. It was about a 4 out of 5 rating. That was that. This, I think this is the one I bought from the dealership. Have not touched. Okay? I seriously don't think I touched this truck, except for maybe throw a different paint job to it. Yeah, this is the one that came from the dealership. I haven't even registered this truck yet. This truck has not even been registered yet. It's... I mean, we can dyno it. It's at 380. It's at 381. It should put exactly what it says. This will tell me if I even touched it. It peaks out pretty quick. It puts out exactly what it says it puts out. Pretty powerful. As it is. Didn't want to touch it. This is just if I want to take it to the 4x4 track, I can take it to the 4x4 track. I can take it to the abandoned airfield and drive it around. I bought the thing brand new, straight from the dealer. Now, I don't really like going to the car saloon, but I have not yet found a Chrysler 300. I have the parts for the Chrysler 300. I mean, we'll look at auction. We'll try to pick a couple auction cars and before I end the stream. We just built one of these, but the 440 model. This is the 426 Hemi engine. Not really wanting to get into it again, especially the Roadrunner. The Roadrunner takes a while to build. The overall condition, I mean, we can bid on it, I guess, because the next car is going to be a Bentley T-Type. I'm not buying that one. I will go with the Ram and probably the Mercedes. That's going to take up and tie up my spots in my garage. But all three of these cars can sit at each lift. Now they're going to try to outbid me. I'm going to say to them, no. Now it's valued at 39,641. It's already topped over what they said it valued. They're going to get more for it at auction than they've already gotten more than what they needed. Bentley T-Type, the car is hard to build. Very, very hard to build. Nowhere to lie, this car here is a pain in the ass. So we are going to pass it up. A lot of these cars are a bitch to build from scratch. Now that don't look too bad off. This is a Roadster. I don't really want to get into an FMW Roadster, which is a BMW Roadster. I don't think I want to get into this. I think I want to bypass this and pass this one up. I'll show you the car that I do have in the garage. Give or take, it's going to depend on the overall stuff. Very pretty car. Don't get me wrong. But its value is going to be through the roof, and restoring it to give it a 5-star rating, you're talking probably 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe even 100 grand just to store it back to its full potential, because it's a high-end exotic. I mean, it's probably valued at 100-something thousand as it is. So we're gonna say next car. We're gonna let them bring out the Ram. I don't care about the condition of the Ram. It could be in dire need of going to a junkyard for all I care. Surprise, lo and behold, it's actually in really good shape again. This is gonna bring in a lot of fucking money, because they're trying to say that this thing's like 169,660. I got it. We'll throw it in the garage. This might be a quick flip, because I already got one. Have I done the SRT10 Ram? Yes, I have. Again, another Mercedes. I already have one of these in my parking garage. I do believe it's still in dire need of full restoration, but we'll take it, because it's actually quite an interesting piece of machinery to build. It's actually quite a hard build. It will take the longest. I outbid on it. So we have a Ram, we have a Mercedes. Great, perfect. Honestly, I'm not doing this car. This car is not worth my time. We'll see what the last car looks like. Hell no, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my time and it's not worth my garage space. Now we've been to auction. We've bought auction cars. Really, I think we have space for one more car. I am going to throw cars on lifts. I'm probably going to go ahead and put on lift 1. Well, the Ram's in way better shape than any of the cars. So the Ram will probably go to lift 3. This overall, its overall status, it's hurting. Obviously, I'm going to rip it completely apart, sell out all the parts to it, even though there's a lot of shit's 100%. Tires are hard. Motor's going to be hard. Paint job's hideous. Interior's probably in need help. The motor's in dire need. So we'll move this one to lift 2. This overall, here's a fine example of auction car. Obviously it was an auction because it was neglected, and it's the Hemi. It's a V8 Hemi V 4x4. So this truck is 4-wheel drive. Very questionable parts. I mean, again, another vehicle that needs to be completely ripped down, stripped apart. It's really not worth my time to probably rip this one down. But we're not keeping no tags from any of these vehicles. So before anything, I'm going to go rip tags off and throw tags out. Now, that's that engine. These are all auction cars. Okay? Mind you, these are all auction cars. Every fucking one of these is an auction car. None of them are going to have oil in it. And I'm going to prove my point. Why the neglection? No oil. Motor burnt to a crisp. That's why I was at auction. That's why I got it for the price I got it. Everything under here needs to be replaced. And I mean everything. Oh, it's clipped. That's why I can't even add the oil. So I can't even start this car. I'd be afraid, deathly afraid to start the car. So I'm just gonna neglect this car for now. I'm gonna say, okay, we know it has no oil, so we're not even gonna start to bring it into the parking garage. We're just gonna move it. This one here. really bad. Needs engine, needs undercarriage work. No, again, no oil. We're going to do a fresh oil change to it, but we're going to fill the oil up completely. And then we're going to fire upon this car on a later video. 2 cars with no oil in them. And I can guarantee you this truck has no engine oil. Wasn't that hard to figure out. These cars will get fired up at a later date. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these into the parking garage. I want to just feel like goofing around with a half-ass and I'll do a complete 1 full day complete tear down and rebuild of 3 or 4 cars in a row. I'll get 3 cars in the garage. I'll tear 1 car down, rebuild it, get it out. Start on the second, rebuild it, get it out. Third, rebuild it, get it out, and throw a couple more in. But I don't want to go into over 2 hours of car mechanics because really it's too time consuming, too headachy. You really gotta think. We're gonna try to quickly run through the junkyard. I'm trying to keep it under 2 hours. Other videos I will try to put above 2 hours. But this one here is cutting it close. This video is actually going to cut it really, really, really close. Because it takes a while to load, it takes a while to go through the junkyard, it takes a while to go back to the garage when you do find what you're looking for. I mean, I'm going to take a look around the junkyard real fast. See if there's a car that catches my eye. If nothing fancy catches, like this car here, it's a fun car. I think we've already built one, but this is what takes the longest, is you want to check them out. We will take it, because it's actually a really, really, really fun car to build, and this one actually has the hood. We're gonna go ahead and have it towed directly into the garage. There's another car. I don't like that one. I'm gonna bypass that car altogether because the engine's in the rear. Very high. This one, the engine's in the rear, but these are fun. These are fun little known factor cars. I mean, there's still, surprisingly, for Porsche, there's nothing left to the engine. This car has been freshly, cleanly picked. And you're only allowed 3 cars out of the junkyard. They don't put more than 3 cars into a junkyard. what we will do real fast is we're gonna do an overtake by pulling the battery from the car. If it has any tags on it, we'll pull the tags. We'll empty our inventory completely. Because I do have a tendency to forget to empty my inventory of parts. I mean, we can do minor. Like, there's no interior to this car. None. None whatsoever. Completely wiped. This one still had a tag on it. Oh. A lot of these cars will get picked clean to the bone. Actually, let's get ripping this car apart, actually. I feel like we really should at least start the car and take a couple of days off of this game and go ahead and this is going to show its true color. Nasty. Very nasty color. Whoever painted the car this color should be shot. Very ugly, nasty color. I would not ever paint my car this color. Ever. It's like baby shit brown. I had a pickup truck that was shit brown. So, with that being said, this I'm probably just gonna go ahead and like throw everything out on it, because trying to restore a lot of these when they come out of junkyard, 9 times out of 10 you break about 90% of the parts anyway. This shit can't come out. You'd be lucky if you can. This is where you get lucky. Like I said, this car's been pretty well picked over. in the junkyard. There's really two valves are the only thing that are actually being held together still. I'm very surprised it still had that in it. I'm actually surprised it still has a fucking water pump on it. Actually, I don't even have a water pump. I'm surprised it still has this crap in it. Because these things get pretty picked over pretty damn fast. I mean, it's got it as far as you can for it being on the ground. For what I just did, surprisingly, now we gotta see if the engine block's gonna survive. To do that, see if I can quickly get the transmission out of it. Alright, you're in my way. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, drive shaft. Get out of my way. Goodbye. 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 And goodbye. 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 Go see if we can salvage anything. Okay. Block. If we salvage the block, see, we didn't. That block wasn't worth saving. But I can't leave the garage now till I order an engine block. Fastest way to go do that. Block. Blue. That saved me some money. I like it when parts get savable. Brackets, nothing to work with there. Couldn't save the bracket. Shit. Well, I'll be dipped. This engine is horrible. Did we save any of these? One. I still need 1, 2, 3, 4 more of those ones. I'm not gonna bullshit you, I'm not gonna lie to you. The fucking car belonged in the junkyard for a reason. Usually when cars are in the junkyard, it's best off you leave them in the junkyard. Rust in pieces. We'll go ahead and get the 6 pistons. Okay, we're a little over 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and just button this up quickly. Probably finish this motor off camera. And then probably gonna do a GTA video. a farming simulator video, a mud runner video, a snow runner video, and a PGA Tour video. So, if you guys like what you've seen, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit the notification button. Catch you in the next stream.